Hi, my name is Rick Desilets, and this is my audition tape for TBS's King of the Nerds. I'm a 25-year-old college grad, currently living in Worcester with this guy. Yep, he sent in a video too. I've been in Worcester for about 8 years now, but I'm going to be moving out closer to Boston soon. I have a lot of friends. They like to say I'm usually a pretty friendly guy. I like to make a lot of friends. I do a lot of stuff, so it's an easy way to make friends. I asked a bunch of my friends on Facebook to throw a couple adjectives my way for ways that they describe me, and they came up with this. I went to high school at Bishop Girton in Nashua, New Hampshire, where I was a part of the debate team, the football team, the cribbage club, the drama club, pep band, marching band, concert band, jazz ensemble, and the math team, where I was the captain my senior year, and I consistently scored the top placing in our school for the AMC tests. I graduated and went to Worcester Polytechnic Institute, where I majored in math and physics. And then I majored in math and interactive media and game development. And then I majored in math and theater. I was the president of the Science Fiction Society, the assistant events director of the Game Development Club, the occasional producer of a sketch comedy group, Kilroy Sketch Comedy, the director of experimental comedy group, Empty Set, a member of Guerrilla Improv, an improv group on campus, and an active member of the theater community there. I've debated against the Cambridge Union Society, and I was inducted into the Rho Kappa cast of Alpha Psi Omega Theater Honor Fraternity. I love a good card game, I love a good story. I'm an amateur playwright with 2 works produced already, and I'm working on a number of other ones that I hope to film or put online at some point in the near future. But you want to hear about the nerdy stuff. So, oh, by the way, this beard, this is not my usual look. This is for a film that I'm working on. I'll get to that one later, but normally I look something like this. But you've already seen that. That's the headshot that I sent you guys in the first email. How about something else? Alright, well, I mean, that's my last Halloween costume, and it's kind of far away too, and I'm in a mirror. Can we get something a little easier to see? Okay, that's not me. This is Mark Ruffalo stealing the show as Bruce Banner in the Avengers. Alright, I'm not even in this picture. This is a Pokemon meme I posted. You know what, just give me a screen cap from one of our films. Perfect. Obviously, the most important question is, am I a nerd? Let's see, I've been obsessed with math my entire life. I mean, as a really young kid, my favorite toy, according to my mother, was a calculator. That was at least until I discovered video games, which I've been playing adamantly since I was 2 years old. At one point, I had over 500 video games across more than a dozen systems, spanning over 30 years. I playtested Lego Rock Band over at Harmonix, which was a fantastic time. I stood outside GameStop in Worcester to be the first person in the city to own a Wii. And there's lots of TV. I watch an ungodly amount of science fiction. I also do a good deal of video editing for fun, which doesn't seem like the nerdiest thing ever, but when you think about it, you can use those powers for evil and do something really nerdy. Like this. Make myself really annoying and nerdy. But you know what? I don't think that nerds are necessarily superior. I don't think that we're all that different. I think the difference is, well, everyone's a nerd. It's just that some people, I think, are a little afraid to admit it. The real nerds are the ones who are comfortable enough to accept that they're nerds. Nicolas Cage named himself after a comic book character. Vin Diesel has been playing Dungeons & Dragons for literally decades. And Robert Downey Jr. isn't just Iron Man now, he was obsessed with Iron Man as a kid, and apparently modeled his entire life after him, for better or for worse. Speaking of Iron Man, you guys want to know what my top 3 favorite superheroes are. And if we're allowing Batman for the sake of argument, even though he's not really a superhero, then I'd have to say that my top 3 would be Spider-Man, Batman, and Iron Man, and here's why. Bruce Wayne decides he's had enough of the corruption in his city and takes to the streets in order to fight crime. Tony Stark realizes he has a duty to use his intelligence to protect the people. But Peter Parker is different, because he actually has to deal with real life. He has classes, he has a girlfriend, he has family, and no one can know his secret despite the consequences of being a superhero in New York City. And that's what drew me into the TV show Heroes, the idea of regular people trying to balance their life as a hero and their life as just a regular person trying to cover up their secret. And that's something I actually took into consideration when writing a series I'm working on right now called Crusaders. The idea of a bunch of normal people and their reaction to the sudden emergence of a single superhero in their city. I'm not currently in a relationship. Been single for a while, but I've had a few not so serious relationships. But if there's one thing you have to learn about dating, because you guys asked this question, not me, is that no one is out of your league if you know how to relax and have a good time. You asked also about Dream Girl. That's kind of a weird pedestal-y kind of term there, but I think if I had to pick one, Emma Stone seems really cool. I don't know, maybe I'd rather just kind of hang out with her or something. Geeky hobbies. Well, there are a lot of them. I play a lot of Rock Band, and a gargantuan amount of video games. And I'm really good at them, too. I actually won an electric guitar a few years back for winning a Guitar Hero free tournament in a radio play. I even have a few rare gems in gaming that I'm proud of, like an NES with the dog bone controllers, an Atari 5600 and an Intellivision, an original Sonic the Hedgehog poster that belonged to me back when I was a kid, back in 1991, or DS engraved at the Nintendo World Store during its E3 event in 2006. There were actually only 55 like this in the world. Or this, a working Virtual Boy. Stand is gone because I've played it a lot. I've got pretty much the entire library. Have I mentioned I've got 2800 vision? Hell, on my website I even have a listing of all the progress that I've got in catching them all in Pokemon Black version. Got a ways to go. They tease me a lot for this on my podcast. Speaking of which, our podcast, The D-Pad. Last April, me and two of my close friends started a podcast dedicated to video games, movies, music, and all things entertainment. We've recorded over 50 hours worth of episodes and have posted over 130 videos of Let's Plays on YouTube. That's over 27 hours of games. And the D-Pad is now a production of my film company, 2-Bit Pictures. I founded 2-Bit Pictures last May to compete in the 48-hour film project in Boston. Since then, we've produced 6 films for the 48-hour film project, the National Film Challenge, and even a comedy festival in Worcester. We're also in the process of pre-producing our first 2 large-scale films, a drama called Shots, a documentary called 3 and 5 Zeros. And this weekend, well, the weekend after we film this anyway, we're heading back to Boston for this year's competition. And now, the ultimate nerd question, or at least what tends to get posited as the ultimate question. Star Trek or Star Wars? Please. That's like comparing apples and oranges. Star Wars is a highly successful film series about rebellion against an evil empire. Also has a lot of books and toys and games. Star Trek is a highly successful TV series that started getting into movies once the TV series were drying up. All about exploration of the galaxy. Also a lot of books and toys and games. Besides, both of them pale in comparison to Doctor Who. My number one obsession is Doctor Who.
Okay, you're my biggest fan. Look, it's perfectly understandable. I go zooming around space and time, saving planets, fighting monsters, and being, well, let's be honest, pretty sort of marvelous. So naturally, now and then, people notice me.
After Heroes was cancelled, I needed a new fix. Lost was good for a while, but it was also starting to end, and so I found myself suddenly getting involved in this show that came on right before Battlestar Galactica called Doctor Who. They seemed for some reason to keep showing reruns of the same 3 episodes, but after a while I found a few episodes online, a few were airing on TV, and I was pretty instantly hooked. I watched it all the way from the beginning forward. I've been watching all of the original series. Right now I'm actually most of the way through Patrick Troughton's second Doctor run. You remember that Halloween costume that came up earlier? This scarf. This scarf. I literally taught myself how to knit just so I could make this 11.5-foot long monstrosity relic of Tom Baker's legendary run as the 4th Doctor on Doctor Who. This took me 8 months to knit. It took me over 100 hours of sitting and agonizingly going line by line to make this wonderful thing. I am actually in the process of knitting a Knives Chow scarf from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World as well. I also got this sonic screwdriver from Matt Smith's 10 Years the 11th Doctor, and this TARDIS mug that I drink juice from. Yes, juice. I think it's safe to say I'll be watching this show until
the end of time itself.
So I think that about covers it. I hope to hear back from you guys real soon to see if I might have a chance at being the king of the nerds. Oh, if you'll excuse me, sounds like my ride's here. Live long and prosper. Oh, and nice Walter Turncoat on the website.